Welcome to the Online Entrepreneur Experience podcast that details the ins and outs, the how-tos, and the ups and downs of living a life of an online business owner.
What is going on? Are you guys ready for the best episode of the Online Entrepreneur ever? I know my boy Deuces over here is ready for it. I know the Viking is, because we've been percolating on this idea for almost 2 weeks, guys. Like, we got a banger for you. It's gonna blow your mind and honestly change your whole spectrum of how you live your life. So get prepared for it. Are you really amped there, bro? I know that you're standing now. I can see you
glad
already
I'm standing.
gyrating.
I'm so glad I'm standing because I'm so pumped for this one. Like Mark said, we've been working on this and brainstorming on this one for a while. So this is one that I'm personally really excited to talk about. I know Mark's really excited to talk about. So let's go.
Yeah, like Deuces had his hat backwards prior to this. He turned it straight just to make sure he was prepared for this and like locked in. Like he and like locked in his phone.
The thinking cap.
So what we're going to be going over today, guys, is how money is attracted to it. And I know that sounds really weird because I think when you think of responsibilities, you think of a lot of things that don't involve revenue or wealth or those kind of things. Like, I know when I first used to think about like responsibilities, it was like, oh, like when you're a kid, like you're responsible to like, say like mow the lawn once a week or like clean your room, go to school. Like those were your responsibilities when you're younger. And like, as you become an adult and a parent and stuff like that, like your responsibilities is like making sure your kids like don't die every single day and stuff like that. So a lot of things like don't really correlate with revenue and actual wealth and bringing money into your life. But Deuce and me had this conversation like 2 weeks ago, and it kind of like brainstormed into this. And one of the things he said to me was, he said, he's just like, one of the things I'm so happy about is I am fully responsible for all the money that comes into my life. I know. So why don't you like just say a little bit more onto that and like kind of like hit people with what that actually means.
Okay, so what I meant by that was I am not an employee. I am fully responsible for my own income, which means you can't just go to a job and sit there. You can't just be there and make an income. When you are an employee like that, you are giving all the responsibility of your income, your revenue, to somebody else. And that realization that I had 2 weeks ago, like Mark was saying, was like a pivotal moment in my own life, because now that I know and I can see how responsible I am about my own income, now that's all I want to do. That's the only activities I want to do, because it's not just like punching in, going to a job, punching out, going home. It's, for me, I like to work. I like to make money. I know you like to make money. And Mark, what's your favorite activity?
Revenue generating activities, bro. RGA, baby.
That's right. So, I mean, if you enjoy those RGAs, those revenue generating activities, and you are fully aware that you're responsible of it, life is fun. You enjoy it. That's kind of what I'm
feeling, right? Like it's so fulfilling when you know that what you're doing like actually brings you in something. It's just like, if you're going to a job every single day, regardless of how hard you work, you're still getting paid the same, unless you're working at like a commission job. And some of you guys may be in sales or like other businesses that work in commission. But like when you're just in like an hourly wage job, which most jobs are based off hourly wage, no matter what you do, like you get paid the same. And that's not really like something that you get stoked about. Like honestly, like I know a lot of people that work in factories and stuff like that, and half the time they're like on their phones. They're just texting other people. They're doing everything other than what their job is. Could they do more? Yeah, but what is the incentive to do more, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, back when I was an employee, I used to see guys like just hustling, and I'm just like, I'd look over at them like, what are you doing, man? Paid by the hour. What are you doing? And I know that that is kind of the common theme in a lot of industries, especially blue collar, the oil field, stuff like that. Because at the end of the job, there's no more work. So they want you to go slow. Wow. The owners of the company want you to go fast, but all the employees, especially the not management level, but kind of the foreman and stuff like that, they tell you to slow down all the time because they want to prolong the job so that they can keep the income coming in because they're not responsible for their own income.
That's it.
Somebody else is. And
Somebody
it just
else?
turns you, I don't know, it feels odd just saying it now because it just shows that that's the lifestyle, that's the mentality in that world.
Well, the thing is our society is built off that, right? I mean, like you look at like welfare and like all these other, like we just got through like the COVID and everything, and there was in Canada at least there was CERB that like you could jump on. So they like I kept seeing like all of these companies that hiring, and they just like nobody wants to work right now, and it's because our society is filled with a bunch of people that like are like if they don't have to do anything and they can still make money, even though they're making a lot less money, they still choose to do that. So there's so, and then those people are like complaining why are they not getting anywhere in life, and it's because you're not doing anything but you're still getting paid. And the reason why those people are complaining and only get so much and generally either stay on welfare, because I know I've stated this a few different times on our podcast, but the statistic is that 60% of people that are on welfare right now are sixth generation people on welfare, which is ridiculous, right? Like that's just a massive thing. And that's where the responsibility thing kicks in, is if you're surrounded by a bunch of people that aren't responsible for their income, you're probably not going to be responsible for your income and money. So those things aren't going to be attracted to you. So opportunities won't be attracted to you because generally you have to be responsible and you have to be willing to put in that work. And if you're just not, then you're really capping yourself out and you're really living with a scarce mentality where you're just not going to make the money that you could otherwise, right?
Yeah, and it's crazy because I did a training within the business that Mark and I are a part of, where I talked about the 5 most ROI habits. So the best habits you can have to have a good return on investment. And number 4 was absolute ownership of your situation. Everyone looks at a millionaire or a billionaire and they go, oh, you know, he's a self-made millionaire or he's a self-made billionaire. But nobody wants to take responsibility and point to the homeless guy and say he's a self-made homeless person.
Oh, hell no.
Or he's a self-made stay-at-home dad. And that's part of being responsible. It's taking responsibility for your life, your situation, as well as your income.
I love that. Self-made homeless person, because it's true. Yeah. And I think so many people try to pass the responsibility onto somebody else, right? Like I hear it all the time. It's just like, I was just talking to one of my buddies that like, he just had some issues with a girl he was dating and stuff like that. And like all of her problems was actually his problems, but it was actually her problems, and it was all other people's problems. There's all these other things, and it was everyone else, and like so like never taking responsibility. And guess what? She wasn't having a successful relationship because she wasn't willing to take responsibility for her side. So I mean, it really goes into everything. But I mean, in this case, we're talking about like wealth, and money, but success and abundance and happiness is attracted to responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I bet you your friend there who's in a bad relationship or was in a bad relationship, I bet you the next one's going to be bad too. And the reason why I'm confident in saying that is because they've never taken responsibility for the bad relationship or for their own mistakes that they are making in the relationship. Therefore, it continues and continues and continues, just like the 6th generation of welfare families.
That was my exact comment too. So it's funny that you said that. I'm like, it's okay. Their next relationship's doomed for failure too. Totally. It's because of those things. Until you change yourself and until you're ready to start taking responsibility of things, like your situation won't change or your outcome won't change, because you have to have complete ownership. And I mean, Renee and me talk about it all the time. If you're the problem, that means you're the solution as well, which is one of the most empowering things that you can do for yourself and your life. And there's a massive reason why every one of the highest paid jobs or ways of making income are all essentially commission based or revenue based businesses. They don't get just paid an hourly wage. Like entrepreneurs / business owners, salespeople, and capital investment people, those are the 3 highest paid career choices that you can have. And guess what? They're all commission based. They're all based on the production that you do. They're all based off the responsibility of being attracting the money to you, right? Like, is it not crazy? So if you're making minimum wage or working a job that like you're not getting paid well, the reason why is because you're not taking the responsibility for the money that should be flowing your way, right?
Yeah, I mean, when I was growing up, I was offered a sales position, and to me, that was like, no, I'm never gonna work sales. I'm never gonna do this, never gonna do that. And I actually walked out of the job within the first hour because it was, I don't know if you remember this or had this in the city you were growing up, Mark, but there was these people that would come up to you in a parking lot with a box full of junk and try to sell you this junk. That's the job that I was offered. And as soon as I realized what it was, I was like, nah, I'm out. But thinking back, it's not about the money I could have made or would have made. It's the skill set that I was going to gain by taking that sales job, because that would have pushed me into one of those top 3 categories that Mark said. And I would be probably better off than I am now had I learned those skills earlier on. So
and taking responsibility for it all at the same
time. Exactly. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because if you are sitting there and you're hearing us talk about the 6th generation welfare, and you're sitting there and you're working an hourly job, just know that that's not the end. It's not fate. And you have to accept that. You can always change. You can always move on to another job. You can gain a different position to gain the skills required to get that one of those top 3 jobs. And I mean, honestly, the easiest one to do is entrepreneur, because there's a lot of programs out there that will teach you how to do it and teach you all the skills needed to be successful.
And that's it. It's just being willing to take the responsibility. And it's so funny that you just said that thing, because it really percolated something up into my brain of when I was 18. I don't know if you know this, this company, but they're called like Cutco knives. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay,
No.
so it's essentially like almost like a door-to-door company, but it's not door-to-door because they're like, you're not allowed selling these things door-to-door. It was a referral-based sales company where you sold knives. Now these knives are actually really, really good. I still have I'm 35 now, so that was 18. I still have the knives, and
I thought you were 26.
All right, I'm 26. So, and they're still sharp. That's how good quality these knives are. They're known to be the highest quality knives, or not the highest quality, but very good quality knife. And so I got a job with them. I interviewed with 10 people, and I was 18, and somehow I beat out all these people that were in their 20s and stuff like that. I have no freaking clue. I was just fresh out of high school and stuff like that. Anyways, I got the job, and I felt really good. I thought I was getting into something else, but then I got into this. So then I was like, oh, this is weird. I've never done sales in my life. I didn't know a lot of people, so I couldn't really get referrals and stuff like that. But it just turned out that my girlfriend at the time, her parents actually had Cutco knives. So I got to resell them more Cutco knives. And then I had some family that I got to sell some stuff to. But who wants to sell to your friends and family? So I kind of felt a little bit icky about it, got some referrals, kind of burnt out on it. But the issue was I wasn't taking responsibility for it because I didn't feel good about what I was doing, because I didn't want, sales to me was such a foreign concept, and it had a bad invitation to me. And maybe for you that's watching this right now, maybe sales does have a bad stigma to it for you, which it did at 18 for me. And so I wasn't willing to take responsibility for what I was doing. Thus, I made like 5 sales. Like they're like, whoa, you're like one of the fastest selling people. But to me, I just didn't feel good about it, didn't feel whole about it, ended up quitting. Where like people that go to Michigan State, they have to go through that are doing like the sales and business program there. They actually have to go through the Cutco knife program because it's such a good sales program. So instead of taking advantage of like the resources I had around me and having respect for it, because I wasn't willing to take responsibility for my life, I ran to a $1 an hour job. So I went and got an $8 an hour job so I could get away from this sales job where like on one session, I was making like $500 of selling knives. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, like I was gonna say, when you go through life, you're always faced with these decisions. And each one is a pivotal moment, and it's gonna shape who you are.
Yeah,
So,
that was
no
it.
regrets.
Yeah, I decided $8 an hour was better than an hour of doing a cool demo where I got to make a flower out of a penny and cut through rope and make $500. I decided $8 an hour is much better.
Yeah, so it just goes to show you that when you take responsibility for your own life, your own situation, and your own income, sky is honestly the limit. Because like Mark said earlier, abundance flows to those with the responsibility. So
Yeah,
that's a
be
great
responsible,
little
eh,
story.
Renee?
What's that?
I said be responsible, eh, Renee?
Yeah, I need to be a little bit more responsible. Love it.
Oh, that's awesome. So guys, that's all we have to say. In the end of the day, like take ownership of your life, take control of your life, be the CEO of your life, because that is what's going to take you to where you actually want to go. If you want that next big vacation for yourself and you've been struggling to go get it, the way to be able to get that is be responsible for your life, because I hear it every single day. I don't have enough money. I'm broke, all these different things. But then I see people sitting at home. Go get a side hustle. Go work for Uber. Go work for DoorDash. Go get a second job. You got tons of freaking time in your lives. It's just about actually taking responsibility for what your income is. If you do that, your life will change forever. Anything else that you want to say, man?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that Mark is a boss. He's got the style and hair today.
Oh, yeah, you love it, eh? It's only this way because Karen doesn't like it and she's not in town right now.
I love that. So if you found value in this video, please like and subscribe, and also leave a comment and just let us know how you're going to start being responsible for your income. Love to hear it.
And if you guys do that, an angel will come down and kiss your forehead tonight. I didn't know you're an angel.
Me neither.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week.
Take care.
Thanks for tuning into the Online Entrepreneur Experience. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes that we're releasing and any of these amazing pieces of value that we're giving out. And if you could take the time out of your day and leave us a review, we would be so grateful. We look forward to seeing you on that next episode.